I feel like a lot of dudes lack empathy because they don't have actual conversations with some of these women. So y'all, some of y'all are so busy trying to fuck everything walking, you don't actually treat them like human beings. I'm not gonna lie, like I've heard some like, I've known personally at least 10 women that have been raped. And like, they tell me their stories, and like, it's one of them things that's like, why would somebody make that up? Like some very vivid stories, dog. Some very vivid stories. And it's like, I personally feel like a lot of dudes don't be believing women because you don't talk to women. Y'all just be trying to fuck everything moving. That's why that shit be making me mad. Smash community's going through it, and now it's the gaming community. It's wild. It's wild. I'll say this. It's really wild to me how many of y'all keep coming in here and being like, yo, FGC is trash. The Smash community is on fire. Yo, shout out to Lord Gaming with the 5 gifted subs. It shows how many of y'all have not been paying attention, bro. The whole gaming community has been on fire for like the last 2 weeks. There have been so many women that have came out and accused dudes of rape or sexual assault or misconduct. Like the whole D1 and the senpai shit is just like, that's just another story on top of this bullshit, bro. It's like, no, it's not. Don't, as much as it's fun to clown the FGC, don't put that on the FGC. This is a fucking gaming community problem. It is a lot of rapists and weirdos, and I've been saying this shit for years. It's a deep embedded thing. I've been saying this shit for years, and motherfuckers was calling me an asshole. Oh, maybe they're just socially awkward. Like, no, some of these niggas is weird. I get weird vibes from them, bro. And now y'all starting to see stories is coming out. You got people out here that's pedophiles, grooming people. Fucking, you got dudes out here trying to be a mentor to everyone on the platform, but he ain't being a mentor to any men. You just trying to fuck. You're a weirdo too. This is a men issue. Like, some of you niggas need father figures, bro. Yeah. If anything, no, I hope these brands wake up and see that like a lot of your favorite content creators ain't shit. Never trust a nigga that says poggers. Facts. Never trust a nigga that says poggers. Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop dismissing some of these women. I tend to believe it's women too. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's only been one prominent story though. Like, let's not do that, dog. Let's not do that. Like, I know me personally, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Let me turn this music off. The reason I personally don't get offended by like a lot of these stories is because I know personally I haven't done anything. So it's like one of those things that like, if it don't apply, let it fly. But don't come up here and be like, it's men out here doing this, women out here doing this shit too. The only story that's really came out is the senpai shit, which is one. Other than that, it's 99% a dude. This is mostly a dude problem, bro. Like, niggas is just gonna have to take the criticism. Some of your friends is not shit, bro. Some of your friends is not shit. Don't do that. And you know, it's funny. I couldn't help but notice, it kind of irked me. Last night, I was watching some of my favorite, like, channels that like highlight Twitch news and esports and stuff, and I couldn't help but a lot of these channels picked up that senpai story about how she was grooming the little boy and she's a pedophile and shit, as they should talk about it. But I also noticed that a lot of those news channels did not talk about all these women. I swear to God, it's been like 100 different women that have came out and have been accused dudes of like rape or sexual assault or shit like that. They didn't pick up any of those stories, and I'm not gonna lie, I do feel some type of way when I see that shit. I'm like, oh, so y'all got time to pick up the story about the chick that's a pedophile, but the hundreds of dudes. I'm like, that's not a good look for men, bro. That shit looks hella biased. It's like, it's a hard truth. Some of y'all do not want to hear about it, but like, it's a lot of your friends is fucked up, bro. It's biased as fuck. It is. Some of your friends is fucked up. Y'all do not want to hear that shit. I'm not with it. I think most of the women are telling the truth though. Like, I tend to believe women just because I've had plenty of female friends that have told me like personal stories, like things that they've been through, like very vivid stories, like getting violated, like physically and like spiritually. So like when women, it's much more common than you think. It's much more common than you think. Just yesterday, fucking my homegirl Zaya, she was streaming yesterday and she had some dude streamer pull up her stream on chat while he was streaming, and then he was telling his audience to go in her chat and tell her, like, you know, give him a chance and let her know that fucking he thinks she's attractive. His chat was talking about like her nipples look soft and all this shit. That shit is fucking weird, bruh. That shit is weird. I was like, she's like, what do you think I should do? I'm like, and she's new to streaming. I'm like, report his ass, bruh. fucking report his ass. These dudes be doing this shit. It's much more common than you think. You better start paying attention. You better start protecting your nieces, your sisters, and the shit that you don't care until it happened to your sister or your niece, bro. Believe some of these women. This shit is gross. But I don't abuse women, head ass. Yeah, but it's like when you say, but I don't abuse women, head ass, that's no different than like the white folks who are like, I'm not racist, but they're still quiet. Your silence is complicity. You're not helping the situation. As I'm saying, I catch one of you niggas fucking trying some shit, I'm gonna wring your fucking neck at the event. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably why I feel some type of way. She sent me that link. Like, I pulled up the VOD of his shit and like I watched it. Like that shit was really weird to watch. It was really creepy. He was sitting like in the dark and he was just like, come on guys, like just tell her, give me a chance and all this. I'm like, why are dudes doing this, bruh? Why are dudes doing this? A lot of women, they get violated physically and spiritually, and then there's like a shame thing. Fucking I've had women tell me that they was violated and then they went to tell somebody and fucking they said, oh, you just want attention, you're making it up, or they called them like a hoe and all this other shit. They get isolated and shit like that. Like it's not as simple as, oh, just go to the police. I feel like a lot of dudes lack empathy because they don't have actual conversations with some of these women. So some of y'all are so busy trying to fuck everything walking, you don't actually treat them like human beings. I'm not gonna lie, like I've heard some like, I've known personally at least 10 women that have been raped. And like, they tell me their stories and like, it's one of them things that's like, why would somebody make that up? Like some very vivid stories, dog. Some very vivid stories. And it's like, I personally feel like a lot of dudes don't be believing women because you don't talk to women. Y'all just be trying to fuck everything moving. That's why that shit be making me mad. Like some of the chicks that's on Twitch, like I'm just cool with them. I'm not trying to fuck them. Like there's somebody that came in here one time talking about you hitting Krista. I'm like, dog, she's like my little sister, dog. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And I be seeing shit she be tweeting about stuff that dudes be saying about her on stream, talking about her body. I'm gonna wring your neck if I see you doing that shit. Like I look at some of these women like it's just like little sisters, bro. I don't try to fuck everything moving. Get out of here with that shit. So I know most of them is family. Yeah, like I'm serious. Actually ask the women in your life about sexual assault if you never had I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but actually as men, try to have a conversation with some of the women. Ask your mother. You would be surprised. Every one of them most likely has a story. You would be surprised. And I feel like a lot more men would be empathetic if you actually listen to the story. And like I said, this is coming from somebody who's been falsely accused of sexual assault. Listen, bro, women exist other than just to have sex with. Like some of y'all are fucking weird. I know it's cool to have conversations like we be talking about like attracting the opposite sex and stuff like that, but no means no. Do not get it twisted. No means no. And also you can be friends with women. You was accused, damn. Yeah, I talked about it on the podcast. There was a group of women. This was when I was in middle school. There was a group of girls before class. Like there was a group of guys. There was a group of like popular girls, and there was a group of guys that used to go up and like touch their ass and shit. And one of the girls in the group didn't like me. She just thought I was like a smart ass and an asshole, which I am. But I never did anything to her. Like I've never done nothing to a woman like that. When they went to the principal's office to tell him the dude, she threw my name in the hat just because she didn't like me. But one of the girls that was in the popular girls group, she was my neighbor and I was really cool with her. So after like they left the principal's office, she circled back around and told the principal that girl was lying. But before that happened, the principal had called me in the office and he was like, I know what you did, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you're a predator and all this other shit. And like, as a man, that shit is mad. You feel mad hopeless. You're like, please believe me, please. Like, what the fuck? But long story short, my neighbor circled back around and told the truth that her friend was lying and she stopped being friends with that girl. So yeah, sometimes women do that shit. But what's done in the dark always comes to the light. I think most women do be telling the truth. But it'd be the dude you probably wouldn't even expect it from. No, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by some of these accusations because I always say it's the people that you least expect. Like, yeah, I can be an asshole and a smart ass, but I'm very upfront about who I am. It's the people that always try to present like this perfect image that you honestly need to be watching. Because those are the ones you least expect it from. Those are the ones that's always trying to hide something. Like at bare minimum, because I'm kind of tired of talking about this, if you get anything out of this conversation, I think some of y'all need to learn to talk to women, have more conversations. Ask your sister, ask your aunt, ask your nieces, your cousins. Ask them if they have a story. You'd be surprised. I feel like a lot more men would be empathetic if y'all start talking to women.